I ran a group, and in that group, there were 6 large teenagers, and the group had met up to 6 times. One of the things that I was noticing is that this large teenager, every time someone talked about their family, she would clench her fists and bring her shoulders up high. And I noticed it. You know, I'm trained to notice. But one day, when someone brought up a bad visit at home, she started to escalate. And somehow, I don't know how it happened that there was a light bulb in the room that we were meeting with, but she picks up the light bulb. She picks up a light bulb. She's holding it in her hand, and I'm trying to figure out, she's either going to throw it at somebody or she's going to crush it in her hand. I'm not trained to do restraint training. Besides, there's 6 kids and I'm in there by myself. But I know I need to step back and think of somehow, how am I going to respond? So I take a deep breath and I think, okay, I say, it looks like you feel like your world is falling apart and nobody's doing anything to help. And she takes the light bulb, she just drops it on the ground and she starts to cry. So, why am I telling you this story? What I want to do is overlay the 6 concepts that are useful with teachers and use the example as something that you could put in your own example, but where I would use this example and help to understand sort of the SOS tips for teachers. First of all, behavior is communication. And the whole concept that certainly Ross Greene has spent his life helping with explosive kids is the idea she can't versus she won't. This wasn't a kid that she was struggling with how to communicate her despair. And if I could understand what she was trying to say to me, I could de-escalate her. The second aspect is looking at patterns. So I'd had some tips that talking about families tended to get her escalated. So that was going to help me with figuring out what is she trying to communicate. The next one is really, really critical to help teachers understand, which is the only behavior you can control is your own. So for these teachers, they had to step back, take a deep breath, do a quick assessment, and come up with a game plan. There's a Yiddish saying, you can't control the wind, but you can control your sails. Same thing for us when we're in this kind of situation. And the last part is that behavior can be changed. A lot of times, in the moment, when you're frightened or a kid is escalating, you can feel viscerally, there's nothing I can do to make this different. And it's probably true when a kid is throwing furniture, but there is a ton that we can help with teachers about how to change the behavior.